This is True Crime Tradies. Listener discretion is advised. Pussies.
Yes, welcome back to True Crime Tradies. Two Aussie carpenters reviewing true crime documentaries, acting like dickheads and laughing at our own jokes. As always, I have my partner in crime with me. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm actually a bit annoyed because constantly all day, and it's still in my head, I've got the tune from Dawson's Creek in my head. So if I hear myself go one more time, I'm going to fucking murder someone. And I know that's not really appropriate for the type of content that we talk about, but still.
Paul Vanderbeek?
Yeah. No, he was only, what was he, like 48 years old?
49, yeah, 48 or 49.
Yeah, and that actually makes me feel really old. Because in my mind, I thought that guy was like 60 years by now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I remember Dawson's Creek from being maybe in high school, but I just feel like he would have been a lot older than me, not just like 6-7 years older than me.
Yeah, I thought the same. So I was surprised he was only 49.
Yeah, now I just feel super old. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So now I got this stupid tune in my head. And I did not care for the show at all. So anyway, hopefully this talk of murder that we're about to get into can get that out of my head and I can start thinking about murder again. You know?
Yeah, be depressed for another case.
Yeah. Because it's not getting any better this week, I can tell you right now.
No, it's not. I do apologise.
Yeah, there's another heavy one we've got for the listeners. And look, I'm just going to assume that the listeners are already familiar with the case. It's a very popular one.
Yeah, it's very famous.
Yeah, just a little bit of a warning for those who are sensitive. We did talk about familicide last week. If you are super sensitive to children getting murdered or like assaulted, maybe leave this one out. But if you're already familiar with the story, you already know what we're getting into anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we might give you a trigger warning just beforehand, so you can skip ahead 15 or 30 seconds.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to bring up, during the week we put a poll out onto the socials for our imposter episode. I think it was, do you think the family was involved? Yes or no? It was a resounding yes. The family were involved. I think it was like 87 or 88% of people said, yes, of course the family were involved. We're Team Chris.
I'm pretty sure there was one person that said that the family wasn't involved.
I was very surprised that there was one person. And I had to have a look, and it was you.
It was me, yes.
You had to vote on our own polls just to try and sway from 100%.
I'm Team JB all the way. Fuck you guys. I told you that if anyone was against me, you're getting booted. Never listen to us.
Your parents didn't even vote on your side.
Dead to me, all of you. But I'm over the imposter, all right? I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I'm bringing out T-shirts. Team Chris.
Oh, Team Chris. No one's going to be on Team Chris after we're done with today, by the way.
Yeah, we've kicked this Chris out of the group, so it's fine.
Anyway, so we've been talking off air. We were talking today about how we're getting into these real heavy subjects, and we thought it might be a good idea that we have a bit of a palate cleanser in between the two nasty documentaries. We might start with something a bit more funny, still true crime related, but we thought we might bring up some stories that we've heard about over the last week and bring it to you guys and just a bit of more entertainment before we get into the deep dive of this horrific case. So I'm going to start this week because this isn't my episode, so I'm going to be bringing out a bit of a funny one that I saw this week, and Chris will do it next week, and yeah, we'll just see where it goes, but I thought a bit of a laugh beforehand.
I'm looking forward. I have no idea what story you're going to tell, so I'm pretty eager to hear it.
Oh, this one's going to be right up your alley.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, we'll see about that.
So this comes all the way from Canada. I've just been from Canada, so it wasn't me. It happened this week. I was there 2 weeks ago. A man has been arrested in connection with alleged bestiality incident involving three mares at an equestrian centre. So that's what I'm saying, right up your alley.
It's not my alley.
Speaking of up alleys, so Erica Van Meenen of Abigail Equestrian said she confronted a man who was seen in her camera footage sexually assaulting at least two mares in her horse paddock early Saturday morning. So she'd gone to bed that night and she was reviewing notifications from her security cameras when she saw footage of a man walking towards the paddock. And she's probably had this before. She probably just thought, people who are interested in horses, they just want to have a pat of them. Yeah. But she just thought, this is a bit weird. This is late at night. She hopped out of bed, put clothes on, yelled out from her deck at night, just yelling out, "Who's out there? Tell me who's out there. If you don't announce yourself, I'm coming out with my dog." Right? So didn't deter the man. So the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian police. They arrived and they brought a canine team to the property, but they were unable to find anyone. But they reviewed the camera footage and it showed a man walking up to one of the horses and just giving it a nice friendly pat on the nose. It seemed all very innocent. He had what appeared to like a stool with him. So he's gone over to one of the mares and he's popped the stool behind it and then continued to have sex with the mare. This was almost like obvious that he was being watching because there's perfect footage of it. You don't get to see it, unfortunately, on the news. Or I say unfortunately.
Not unfortunately.
You sicko.
And it's up my alley?
Well, actually, I'm just on a side note. When I researched this, I typed into Google on my phone. I'm going to have to erase my history. Man has sex with horse. And it took me a few scrolls down before I found website after website with videos for me to peruse, which I did not. I skipped to the first news report I saw. So there are sickos that enjoy this out there, but it's almost like he would have known he was on footage because there's so many cameras there, and it was at night, but still he wasn't worried about it. He was going to get his rocks off and just head off.
Oh my God!
So look, a man was arrested in connection with it, and it went viral on the internet, which actually helped the police in this situation. But funnily enough, no charges have been laid, and the suspect has since been released from custody and not been named. He's probably going to have to move town because they all know who he is.
Yeah.
But also, bestiality is a criminal offence that can carry up to 10 years sentence. So
why wasn't he charged though?
Didn't go into it. You know, maybe he just said sorry
weird.
and, you know, Canadians are like, sorry. Sorry about that.
They should definitely name him Shane, this guy.
Oh, they absolutely should. I mean,
as punishment, they should let the horse fuck him.
That I'd pay to see. But that's the funny story. I mean, it's funny. It's not funny at the same time.
Not much of a palate cleanser. Jesus.
It's more of a, bit of an interesting story that came out, and it did go viral. So I'm assuming that everyone that has the internet's going to know what I'm talking about, unless my algorithm is fucked. Yeah. Look, it is fucked.
It must be. I have never heard that.
It's right up your alley. I just know it is.
Mod's definitely not going to have bestiality next week. I can promise you that much.
I'll try and stay off it for next time. But anyway, should we get into our episode?
This one, we're doing American Murder, The Family Next Door.
And I suppose you'd want to hear the preview for that?
Yeah, I guess let's throw it in.
Yeah, let's throw it in.
My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. I've gone to her house, and her car's there. She won't answer phone calls. She won't answer text messages.
What's your name?
Shanann Watts.
Hey guys, my name is Shanann. I just want you to know a little bit of my story. I went through one of the darkest times of my life, and then I met Chris. And he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
So how you doing? How's it going? There was no note or anything?
No. I don't know what to do right now.
I've done everything in my heart to make my family's life better.
Don't eat turtle. Don't eat turtle. I ain't got turtle.
I think about, did I cause this? Did I make her feel like she needs to leave?
She said things were bad and that she didn't know what was going on with Chris.
I'm worried sick. This is completely unlike her.
My mom just never thought she was good enough.
You have any idea if he thought his wife had a boyfriend?
Maybe she sat there and thought about it. Do I really stay here right now? If he doesn't love me, maybe I should just go.
Did she accuse you of anything?
I tortured him. I rejected him.
Did you cause Shanann's disappearance?
We're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised anything.
There's only one person in this room that knows what the truth is. And in about 5 minutes, there's going to be 2 of us.
So we actually hear a lot from Shanann in this documentary because the entire thing seems to be filmed on her phone or from body camera or a police station interview. There's actually no sit-down interviews in this one, which was really cool. I liked that.
Yeah, it is really cool. You can imagine it mustn't have been very expensive for them to make this. I think we could have made this documentary. That's how simple it is. They got the footage obviously from police, and I believe majority of it's on Facebook. Anyone can sort of go out there and have a look at her page.
She's uploaded and live streamed a lot of her life to her followers to try and sort of gain a bit of a platform following, I guess. I'm not too sure sort of what she was sort of pushing for that, but heaps of photos, heaps of videos, a lot of audio. So that was really good.
Yeah, it was. It was a dream for the people who made the documentary because they just had everything on a silver platter.
Yeah, we see heaps of photos and videos of their little girls, Bella and Celeste, who are 4 and 3 years old. And they're super cute. They remind me heaps of my girls when they were that age. Just so excited when you come home from work. They just run to the door, Daddy, Daddy. So cute.
Yeah, I know they are. And I forget what kids that age are like too because my kids are a lot older now. But yeah, two of the cutest little kids.
Yeah.
Bella, come here. Hey, guys. My name is Shanann Watts. I live in Frederick, Colorado. Say hi, Cece. Say hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
No, you gotta say hi.
Hi.
And we can't forget Dieter. Here comes Dieter. Okay, Daddy's not gonna do the keep falling off. When Chris and I got married, we moved out here after visiting, fell in love with the area. It's gorgeous in Colorado. We created a life for ourselves out here. Chris found an amazing job that takes care of him. They respect him, which is huge for any job that you have. And we love it here.
Chris looks like a great dad, and he's not afraid to be a part of Shanann's videos either. So he just seems to be, I'm part of this. It doesn't look like there's anything unusual. It looks like he adores the girls, or the girls certainly adore him. And they just look like a normal family from the outset.
Yeah, definitely. Super nice. Yeah, he looks like a super nice guy. Yeah, as you said, a really, really nice family. Good-looking family. Really, really cute. So very social media picturesque family, sort of like what people sort of look up to and aspire to, really.
Yeah, exactly. And she has a lot of stuff for work on Facebook because it's part of the reason why they've got so much footage of her. And she works for a company named Thrive, which I'd never heard of before. And she wears these patches. I don't know if you noticed in the photos and videos. She's wearing these patches, and they're a company that deals with wellness and weight loss, that sort of thing. And they have these products, and these patches are wearable nutrition patches, and they are to reach physical and mental health wellness. It seems a bit
pyramid schemey.
Yeah, it seems real weird.
So we see footage of Shanann returning from a work trip at about 2 a.m. in the morning on August the 13th, which is Monday morning. That same Monday morning at 8:55, her friend Nicole is trying to get hold of her, but there's no response. She keeps trying to call and text over the next couple of hours, and it hits 11:45 a.m. and she thinks, stuff this. I'm coming to your house. All right, I'm on my way. So she gets to the house. There's no answer. She's looking around, and she calls the cops for a welfare check on Shanann.
And it's no wonder that she was panicking as well. I think anyone normal would have been, they're just busy. But because Shanann's life is on the internet and her life is her phone, it's like, well, she hasn't answered the phone for quite some time. Something is definitely up here.
Yeah. How long? I mean, that was only, 8:55 she did her first text, and then by 11:45, so 3 hours later, she's calling the cops. How long would it take you to call the cops on me if I didn't respond for a welfare check?
Probably less than that, actually, because I can message you and then bang, instantly you see my message. So I think I'd be panicking too, to be fair. That backfired on you big time.
Yeah. I was half expecting you'd be half decomposed by now. So this friend, she's gone from 0 to 100 in literally 3 hours, and she's sent the cops like, let's get the helicopters, let's get the tanks in here, we need SWAT, get the battering ram, we're going in. And the cops like, all right, just pump the brakes a little bit, all right?
They could have used her as a battering ram.
Something you got to know about JB. He loves victim blaming, and he loves making fun of fat people.
She's not a victim. Cut. Okay, go.
Delete forever. Where do we finish up there? Call her in the battering ram.
Yeah.
My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 a.m. last night, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. And I've gone to her house, and her car is there, but she won't answer the door. She won't answer phone calls. She won't answer text messages. They have 2 little girls, 3 and 4. I mean, there's no movement in the house whatsoever. What's her name? Shanann Watts. Alrighty, we don't have an officer come out that way as soon as we can. I would just advise you, to not try to make entry into the house or anything like that.
So Chris, the husband, he finally turns up from work. So he gets a call. He rocks up a couple of hours later, and he opens up the house and he goes through the garage, and her car's in there already, but he can't find her or the kids through the house. So they're checking all the rooms with the police, and he mentions to the police officer that the girls' blankies are gone, and they're kind of like their security. What do you call them? Security blankets?
Security blanket, yeah.
Yeah. So they don't go anywhere without these blankets. So he thinks, okay, well, they've gone somewhere because they've taken the blankets with them, obviously. They're searching the entire house. There's no sign of them. They find Shanann's handbag and also her medication in their handbag as well. They also find her phone, which is turned off. Chris ends up turning the phone on, and it just starts blowing up with text messages with all her friends, super worried about where she is, and also Chris as well. He's saying, hey, where are you? Trying to get hold of you. If you've gone somewhere with the girls, can you let me know where?
What do you think of his demeanor at this point?
Well, I mean, he seems pretty nervous and worried. I mean, his wife and girls have gone missing. He's not crying or stressing out because, I mean, They could just be at a friend's house. Who knows?
I had the same thought, and I thought you might be the same as well, because he doesn't look frantic. He just looks nervous. But I'm thinking at this stage in a similar situation, the husband might just think that, like they're just going off to blow off steam, particularly after a fight. Yeah. But I think for me, with the Shanann's phone being off and being left at home would have been a huge red flag to Chris. And that might have been the point for him to just, like, if he had nothing to do with the disappearance, to really blow up here. Because there are a lot of warning signs. He could put two and two together with the blankies, the handbag, the medication, and the phone for me is the one where, the friend is calling the cops after 3 hours. She's left the home, her car's still there and her phone's still there. Where the hell could she have gone?
Yeah, and he does mention that her phone is her lifeline. She is on it constantly.
Exactly. So in that situation, I would have thought at that point, you're going to attend with your worry. But he doesn't. One of the cops walks into the bedroom, and this is all on body worn. And did you notice anything weird about the bed?
Yeah, there's no bedding on there.
No bedding. There was just a sheet. The pillows weren't even on the bed. So for me, right. I thought that was weird. I think you could slightly see maybe there was a pillow on the floor. There was one thing about their house. It was immaculate. It was always really clean.
It was, it looked like a showroom.
Exactly right. So they took care of the house. But for the blankets to be gone, there was no like bloodstains or anything on the bed, which you might expect in a crime scene. But I just thought it was a bit weird, and it wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, she could be doing the washing on every Monday morning, or I'm not. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, true. But you'd at least have a doona there, wouldn't you? Everyone's different.
Hey, everybody. So I'm gonna wait till a couple more people hop on here, and I just want you guys to know a little bit of my story. I was in a place for a long time where I felt very insecure. I was married, went through a really awful divorce, and that relationship really took a lot from me. It took my confidence. It took everything. It literally took everything. But I'm not a quitter, and my goal was to buy a house. My family doesn't come from money. We always worked hard for what we had, and so I worked and worked and worked and worked. And I was 25 years old when I built my first house. And that was the biggest accomplishment I felt I've ever done because I did it by myself. I did it by working my tail off. 10 years ago, I went from being super energetic, super happy. I started losing a lot of my hair. I felt like I had the flu all the time. I felt miserable. And then I was diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune disease. I went through one of the darkest times of my life, and then I met Chris. And I couldn't have asked God for a better man.
Okay, so we go back to the body cam footage from the police officer talking to Chris inside the house. And he pretty much just confirms that she got home from her work trip at 2 a.m, and he left for work around 5:30 a.m., something like that. And he mentions that he works at an oil and gas place called Andarko as an operator. But as you said, he's looking really uneasy. He can't stand still. He's starting to look a bit sick, a lot more worried at this stage as well.
Have you noticed he's blinking too? He blinks really slowly.
Oh, really?
It's
I didn't
almost,
notice that.
and I almost thought that maybe you see more close-ups of him later, but almost like he's high on something.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I don't
didn't
know,
look
or
as-
really, really tired. I mean, he gets
Yeah.
up at the crack of dawn for work. Who knows? He might have just been really tired, but his blinking is quite slow. It's odd.
Yeah, I mean, he's quite a good-looking guy, but I personally didn't look as deep into his eyes as you obviously did.
Gay.
Another one to cut. So they're doing a little bit more searching around the house, and he walks back into the main area where the police officer is standing with Shanann's wedding ring in his hand, and he says, I just found this on the nightstand. Now he's starting to think, okay, well, maybe she's up and left with the kids, and she's leaving me. At this stage, we see footage of their wedding day and their first kiss, and it's disgusting. It's like an open mouth with tongue. Don't do a tongue kiss in front of your family and friends on your wedding.
It sort of reminded me of the Kath and Kim's kiss, Kim and Kel, the way they kiss, her mouth is open. And
I do that on my wife all the time. She hates it.
I don't know how she could. That's sexy as.
Yeah. So in this video, Shanann, she's talking about how they first met, and she said that there seemed to be plenty of opportunities for Chris to leave, but he never did because they're meant to be together forever. So they found their soulmates. He's a really nice guy. As you said before, he's a great dad. He's a great husband, and they're just meant to be. They look like a super nice couple.
Wasn't looking for a boyfriend, and all of a sudden I get a friend request. I said, what the heck? I'll never meet him. He's just a Facebook friend. I have a million of them. But the thing about Facebook is you eventually try to meet the person. When I met Chris, I pushed him away. I gave him an out every single day. He went to my colonoscopy. I tortured him. I rejected him. But he stuck around. And he stuck around because he was the one for me.
She mentions that they met randomly on Facebook, and she saw it and thought, yeah, I don't know this guy, but he can just be another person. I'm never going to talk to him. Yeah. And then next minute, they're getting married.
Yeah, it's because she thought he was hot.
He was a chubby, though.
Yeah, but she could look past that if he's still attractive. I mean, people were still writing Ted Bundy letters in prison knowing what he'd done to women.
Yeah, that's true. Bitches be crazy.
I thought you were going to say that. So it just seems like they're living this picture-perfect life. But then we step back into the day of the disappearance, and we're back with the body cam footage. And one of the cops, he's talking to the neighbour, and his neighbour says, I've got motion-activated cameras. There might be something on there that we might be able to see. They all head over to the neighbour's house, including Chris as well. And they're watching this footage from the security cameras for the first time. And I thought it was a little bit odd that Chris was allowed to be watching it at the same time. But then watching it again, I thought, okay, well, at this stage, I mean, his wife's missing, his kids are missing. He might be able to sort of say what's normal, what's not normal, and sort of, pull something out.
Well, exactly. There's nothing that the cops don't know anything that's going on at the moment. All they know is it's a missing person, and he wants to know just as bad as the cops do where his wife and kids are gone. So, yeah, I don't think the cops suspect anything at this stage. So why wouldn't he be able to go there and have a bit of a gander? And that the neighbour was clearly happy for him to go into his house and watch.
True. So we see on the footage that at 5:17, we see Chris reversing his truck up to the house. And at this stage, on the body camera footage, you start seeing Chris get super duper nervous. He's got his hands on top of his head. His glasses, sunnies on top of his head are slipping down, I think, due to sweat. And he's visibly shaking. Looks like he's going to throw up.
Yeah, that's right. And he's constantly texting on his phone too throughout this. He can't stand still. He's fidgety, like you mentioned.
Yeah, so they see the footage, and it doesn't show anything apart from the truck pulling up. You don't really see him getting in and out. It's quite hidden by a tree. And at this stage, you kind of see Chris do this big exhale, and then he relaxes a lot more as well.
There's an interesting part here when the neighbour turns off the CCTV footage. There's an ad that plays on the TV, and it shows an animation of a baby in a womb, and you can see Chris just staring at it. It's only a couple of seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And he just looks up at the officer and like deadpan just goes, "Oh, she's pregnant as well."
I noticed the exact same thing when I watched it for the second time as well. And I had to pause it and rewind it because that little ad, that rung a bell to me. And I had to Google it as well, but it's the intro to American Horror Story Apocalypse.
Are you kidding? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's exactly what you said before. It's the animation of the fetus, which doesn't look great, I should say.
Yeah.
And then you also see a woman laying on the ground with a gas mask on. Then she quickly changes into a skeleton and then gets soaked or dragged into a pool of oil.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up. That is insane.
Yeah.
And you'll know if you know the story and if you get to the end, how insane that actually is. But
very ominous.
How's the timing of it? And no wonder he was just staring at it, and then it twigs in his mind. So, oh shit! I better let the cops know that she's also pregnant. And we didn't know she was pregnant at this stage either.
Exactly. Yeah. So, with that little tidbit, if you haven't seen or know about the story, put a pin in that bit.
I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome. Guess when you want to, it happens.
Yeah, he genuinely looks excited in this video. Like, he's a bit of a chameleon. I think he can sort of fit in wherever. He's a bit of a sociopath, but he does genuinely look excited. But you can see that he wants a boy really badly. And he sees the pink line on the test. He goes, oh, this means we're having another girl. No, you dickhead. It's just the test. But then he just says, I guess when you want something to happen, it happens. And I thought that was really weird for him. What the fuck does that mean?
Was that a bit of a dig at her, do you think?
I think so. It's almost like he didn't want to have a third baby and she did. And it happened. And it's almost like he looked excited. But that little comment there, thought, no, he did not want this.
I didn't think he looked excited at all. I think he was putting it on. I think he walked in. She was wearing the T-shirt saying, I'm expecting or whatever it said.
Yeah.
And he saw that she's holding the phone and it said live at the top of it. So she's live streaming this.
True. I think he probably just acted the way he thinks that she wanted him to act.
Yeah. Of course he can't go, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Another bloody kid.
That's true.
So we're back at the neighbour's house and Chris and the police officer are heading outside and the neighbour quickly grabs the police officer and he pulls him to the side. He says, hey, hang on just before you go. This is not normal. He has literally never backed his truck up to the house like that, and he's acting very suspicious.
He is. This neighbour should have been a detective because he knew what was up immediately, didn't he? He just knew by knowing Chris that he's not usually like that at all. But then the cop was like, oh, well, you got to understand the situation. His wife and kids are missing. How would you be in that situation? So, but
which is a fair point.
Yeah, exactly.
So all of Shanann and Chris's friends, they're saying it's definitely not like her just to up and leave without telling anyone, and especially now that she's found out that she's pregnant as well. So it's very out of character for her. It's day 2 of the disappearance now, and the cops, they're going door to door canvassing the area, having a chat with the neighbours and seeing if anyone's seen anything suspicious. And apart from a Mrs. Mangle old woman down the street.
I saw a car.
Yeah, I've never seen that car in my life.
Don't ask me what make and model it is because I don't fucking know. It was just a grey ute, a little bit smaller than his. That's all she's got for him. I don't even know why she appeared in the documentary. She was useless.
Oh, that was an odd one, yeah.
But so I do like how they were putting these flyers up on the door, but they were also following up. So if they noticed the flyer was gone from the front door, they'd go knock on the door. Hey, did you get the flyer? So it was really good detective work. They really put a lot of effort into finding Shanann.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's really good. They end up getting a sniffer dog into the residence as well. And as you said before, even the dog handler commented on the house and they said it's almost too immaculate to be normal. And it kind of stuck out to them that even that was a little bit odd.
Yeah, but that doesn't go anywhere from there. She's just a clean person. She even mentions it throughout her Facebook post about, hey, today I cleaned the house, I did this, I'd been dusting for hours. I just think she was a bit of a clean freak. Because I don't think he went to any sort of effort to clean the house.
Yeah. Yeah. So while all the search is going on, Chris, he's actually being really cooperative with the police and he's even doing media interviews as well. And he's just trying to get the word out there about his missing wife and 2 little girls.
So I'm going to give you a first and last name.
Chris Watts, WATTS.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just throw anything out there. I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, because she just taken off, I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, I want them back now.
Now, this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before? Did she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back.
I don't like this bit. He's he can't sit still. He's swaying side to side. He's blinking slowly, like I mentioned earlier, but he's not emotional at all, and he's almost laughing behind his teeth.
I was going to say, it looks like he's trying to hide a smile.
Yeah, even with that awkward question of, like, did they have an argument beforehand? And he said, we had an emotional conversation. That's pretty much all I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Just after that, it's just, it was just, for me, it was really creepy. And I know in hindsight, when you're watching these after the fact, you can pick these things apart. As far as a normal reaction to what is happening at the minute, I mean, it's not normal.
Yeah, he doesn't seem distraught. I mean, this is day 2 of his wife and 2 little girls going missing. And these little girls, they're 3 and 4.
Yeah.
God, you'd be just beside yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yep.
So Chris goes into a little bit more detail about this emotional conversation with the detective down to the police station, and they seem pretty relaxed in the interrogation room. They're even sitting on the same side of the table.
Yeah.
The police officer, he's really compassionate to him.
So I know it's hard to talk about. You mentioned that there was a hard conversation the two of you had about your marriage. Can you really get into that conversation with me?
I talked to her about how I was feeling, about how I felt like what's been going on with us for the last 6 weeks, because she was in North Carolina and I was down there just the last week. But just being apart and just like figuring out who people are. It's like the best way for people to really find out who they are is to spend time apart.
I agree.
When we were together, we could feel like it wasn't there, that spark. And that's kind of cliche, but that spark wasn't there.
So we see more home video that Shanann recorded on a trip back home to North Carolina, where she's from, to go visit her family. And this was 7 weeks before the disappearance.
You go to the airport? Bella, Cece, my dad, and I are flying to North Carolina for 6 weeks. We're going to go spend time with our families, parents, friends, and everything else. And Chris will be coming the end of July. One day Chris can travel that long with us.
So we're back to the search for Shanann and the girls, and we're finding a little bit more about the tension between Shanann and Chris due to an incident between Chris's mum and Shanann.
Yeah, this fight with Chris's parents is a bit of a sore spot with Shanann as well, because she's mentioning to Chris, hey, you need to talk to your parents. Because I think what had happened was Chris's mum had given some ice cream to Celeste, I believe it was, and she's got some allergies. So she had a go at her about that. And it was interesting, on Facebook on the 10th of July, Shanann does a post. Actually, she does 2 posts. And the first post said, anaphylaxis is a rare but severe allergic reaction. It can occur suddenly, can worsen quickly, and can be deadly, in capital letters. Celeste is severely anaphylactic to all tree nuts and kiwi. This isn't new, capital letters, exclamation mark. So she's having a bit of a dig at her mother-in-law here. And then later on that day, she follows it up with, can't protect Celeste from everywhere we go with her allergies, but I will protect her home and where she sleeps. So I just thought that was a bit of a dig from her, and then she's texting Chris that night about it, and she just wants him to back her up. She's looking for him for support in this situation. That was just something I'd noticed on their Facebook page when I was scrolling through it.
Yeah, well, she ends up telling Chris that she never wants to see these in-laws again. It must be super awkward for Chris, He's sort of stuck in the middle of it. And he seems pretty good about it. Like, he's quite understanding to Shanann's point of view as well. So I'm sure he told his mum, hey, remember, this is the situation, But,
yeah, and he does say in a text that pops up on the screen, yeah, that's not fucking cool.
Yeah, but we find out a little bit later on that Shanann, she seems to have a little bit of dramas with Chris's family, and they've had it for a long time as well. And I'm not saying that Shanann is the problem in it. And I don't know where it causes, but there's tension between the family and Shanann.
Yeah, definitely. This actually leads to another, it's a contentious issue between Shanann and Chris for sure. And it's not only like 5 days later, they're celebrating a birthday for Celeste.
They had this huge argument, and she ended up kicking Shanann out of the house.
So they argued, and Shanann went back to her parents' house. As far as I know, she did not go back and see his parents. But they celebrated Cece's birthday while they were down there, and the parents did not come to the birthday party. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cece. Happy birthday
Chris's parents don't even come to it. She's texting between her friends saying, oh, the in-laws didn't even show up. That was a real sore point between her and Chris. You know, there was definitely a divide there with his family. So I think that would have been hard for him as well. I mean, I'm not making excuses for him, but yeah, it would have been tough.
Yeah, it's just added more tension as well.
Yeah.
So. And we see a little bit more text between Shanann and Chris. And Shanann, she's super pissed off at Chris because he never seems to answer the FaceTime calls.
Mm.
While she's been away visiting her family, he hasn't called the girls once. And whenever she calls, he's not answering the phone. She just seems like you should be missing your girls more. You know, you should be missing me. You should be missing the girls. Chris, he seems really apologetic in his text message responses, but I mean, his actions are speaking louder than his words at this stage.
That's right. And this is where the obvious fracture in the relationship is shown. Up until this point, it's been pretty chill. But it's this point of the documentary, the back and forth between them. She is just super frustrated with him, and he's just not present with her and the kids.
Yeah,
and it's
for sure.
obvious.
She texted me and said things were bad and that she didn't know what she did or what was going on with Chris. She thought that it was his parents. And the only other time he's ever acted like this in their marriage was right after they got married. And it was because his parents didn't know their wedding.
So his parents not like her?
No, they do not like her. Yeah, they do not like her. His parents do not.
Do you know the reason for that?
She could be bossy. Yeah, but in a good way. I mean, it's not like I teased her because I'm like, you're so bossy, but she's trying to like push you to do good things and like motivate you. It's not like a bitchy bossy.
Well, I just never thought she was good about it. So then what was the bug at the wedding about? It was just my mom and pretty much my sister just didn't like her. Oh. They just thought that Shanann had taken me away from them and down in Colorado.
So it seems like this image that Shanann's been trying to portray online, it's really starting to become exposed for what it is now that we're sort of taking a little bit more of a deep dive into them.
Yeah.
And Shanann, she admits that she can be super bossy, and she says that Chris, he's the really calm, relaxed one in the relationship. And you see that in a couple of videos as well. And you see her calling her husband an idiot and you know, oh, this is what I've got to deal with.
But that's normal. My wife calls me an idiot most days. And that's normal sort of husband-wife banter. Like, so I didn't really read too much into that.
Definitely, yeah.
My husband's a genius. Doesn't listen.
So we go back to the police station, and the detective is asking him if he thinks, you know, do you think she really just up and left?
I think the actual wording of it was, does your gut tell you that Shanann and the kids walked out, or were they taken out? Which was really like a direct question. And he's leaning on the direction that someone took her, but he's completely emotionless.
Yeah, that's right. He acknowledges that it must have been someone she knows because there's no sign of a break-in at all. I mean, the door was locked. They've got keypads. He would have been alerted.
Yeah, so if he's come to this conclusion that she hasn't gone and walked out and that she's been taken, you wouldn't know it by his emotions that he's feeling that way.
Yeah, definitely. And the police officer asks, is there anyone else that Shanann might be talking to, might be getting a little bit close to?
It was very, secret then if that was the case, because I had no inkling. No. It wasn't even a suspicion. Okay. Not one guy. Or girl. No. If that was the case, I mean, I didn't have one suspicion about it. If it happened, it wasn't even I wasn't aware.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a fucking flex or like an ego thing. Of course she wouldn't be cheating on me.
Look at me. Yeah, so the cop, he spins it, and then he asks Chris the same question. He asks Chris, have you ever cheated on Shanann?
Let's talk about you. Okay. I see pictures of you from a few years ago, and I see you standing with party now. Okay. You've gotten pretty fit. Yeah. You can imagine when guys start cheating or want to cheat, that's what happens. Yes. Tell me about it. That I did not cheat on my wife. I went from 245 pounds to 245. 245 pounds. And I'm great, man. Thank you. And I'm 185, 180 right now. And I've got to imagine that maybe there was a girl that inspired that. No. I have never cheated on my wife. Okay? You know that we have to get to the bottom.
We come back in and we hear a phone call from the detective to Chris's boss at work asking, does Chris have another girlfriend? Have you heard him chatting about anyone else? And the boss is thinking, well, No, of course not. I never have him speak about anything like that. I'd be very surprised if he did have another girlfriend. And they also ask him about his movements on the day of the disappearance. And he tells them that Chris went to the job site at Survey Ranch. And they have a couple of big oil wells or oil tanks out there. And there's a whole bunch of other guys working there on the same day as well.
I thought it was interesting with the detective asking the boss a question about the affairs. It seems obvious to the detective here that they suspect an affair of some description at this stage, because it's the only thing that's really making sense for sure. The reason for the disappearance.
Hi, Luke. This is Agent Lee calling from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. Are you Chris's supervisor?
Yeah, I'm his direct supervisor, yeah.
Do you have any idea if, he has, a girlfriend, or if he thought his wife had a boyfriend or anything like that?
He never indicated or said anything to me that made me think that. He never came out and said one way for him or his wife.
Sure. Okay. Can you explain to me Monday morning, where would he go to his job site?
He was out on what's called the Survey Ranch.
Survey, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have several wells out there, and him and a few of my other guys were out there pretty much all day with him.
Do you have any concerns about him?
I don't, other than what he's going through right now.
So Chris is telling the detectives again what happened that morning, and he relays that she got home at 2 a.m. They had the emotional conversation about their relationship. They actually apparently discussed selling the house and separating as well. She also apparently accused him of having an affair, which he, of course, strongly denies. The detective also asked Chris if he wants to do a polygraph, and he says, "Yep, no worries, I agree, idiot."
Massive idiot. I know something he said here as well, which really perked my ears up, but she'd mentioned, did she accuse you of anything as far as an affair goes? And he says, well, being a woman, she's like, is there someone else?
He says it a few times through the documentary.
Does. It shows his true colours here a little bit.
The first time he says that, it's about, could she be at a friend's house? And he said, well, being a woman, Nicole would know better than I would, her friend.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought maybe it was just a slip of the tongue the first time. But then after I think I heard it the second and third time, I thought, this guy's he's an asshole.
He's a moron.
So the detective says to him, which I really like, if you had something to do with the disappearance, it would have been really stupid of you to come in and agree to do this.
Yeah, I fucking loved that.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be an absolute moron to be here in front of me right now. I mean, what a dickhead.
He's so arrogant. He thinks, I'm going to ace this. No drama.
I'm going to beat this.
And she also says, right before, I think we heard in the trailer as well, the really cool thing about this is there's only one person in this room that knows what happened. And in about 5 minutes, there's going to be two. So she's absolutely convinced that this guy, he knows more than he's letting on.
So I want you to have confidence in the fact that you had nothing to do with this disappearance. We're going to find that out today. And obviously, I hope that, if you did have something to do with their disappearance, it would be really stupid for you to come in and take a polygraph today.
Exactly.
Right? It would be really dumb. You should not be here right now sitting in this chair if you had anything to do with Shanann and the little girl's disappearance. Okay?
She's super friendly to him as well, almost flirty with him at the start. Did you notice that?
She's stroking his ego. I think she's super smart. She knows what he responds to, and that's why they've put that female detective in there.
Yep. She's very good at what she does, that's for sure. And you can clearly see that he's super nervous throughout the polygraph as well. He's been told to control the breathing, because the thing's jumping all over the place. It's not like the typical needles you see on TV and all that. It's his computer. It's like a laptop, and he's hooked up to all this stuff. There was a really interesting question she asked him, and it was, before 2018, did you ever say something out of anger to a loved one? And he goes, yes. And then instantly goes, no. But I thought it was a really interesting question. It's a trap question for me because, of course, he has. Of course, he would have said something out of anger. So I had no problem with him saying yes to that. And I think with him saying yes, it wasn't an issue. But then he changed his mind and said no. So he's in his whole life up until this point, he's never said something out of anger to a friend, and it's almost like he's trying to paint this picture that's unrealistic. And you can see the detective sort of do the double take, look at a computer and look back up at him why would you change your answer there?
Test is about to begin. Please remain still. Regarding Shanann's disappearance, do you intend to answer all of the questions truthfully?
Yes.
Is your first name Christopher?
Yes.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
I really need your breathing to be normal.
Okay,
You
sorry.
are like all over the place. So.
I'm sorry. Like sometimes I feel like I'm not breathing enough, and I'm like gonna fight that. I don't want to do that. So.
Yeah. Before 2018, did you ever say anything out of anger to a loved one?
Yes. No.
Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
All right, how'd you feel? Same as all of it?
I think it was the same to everything.
For you?
It's kind of hard to relax.
No, I get it.
So while we're waiting for the results for the polygraph, we see more family videos of Chris and Shanann. Chris, he ends up flying out to North Carolina to go see Shanann and the kids for I think it was 2 weeks of the 7 weeks she was away. While Chris is there, Shanann's texting a friend and she's saying Chris has only kissed her once the entire time that he's been there, which was at the airport when he arrived, and not again since. And she said that she's come onto him really strongly sexually, and he's more concerned about doing a push-up challenge.
Yeah, that's right. That's quite funny, isn't it? She's like, she just cares about fucking push-ups more than getting, busy with me. Like, she's just feeling really self-conscious at this point. Just wants some love from her husband, and he's given her absolutely nothing.
Yeah. She says that it's been 5.5 weeks since they've had sex, and she's starting to suspect he must be getting it somewhere else.
In North Carolina, those of you that are watching, go get Uncle Frankie. Go get Uncle Frankie. Go get him.
Shanann and the kids were in North Carolina to see my family and obviously her family, and just kind of like, because they haven't seen the kids in a while. And I was here just going to work and working out and just keeping the house up. My flight was July 31st, and I flew out there for a week so I could fly back with them.
So we go back to the police station, and now we're finding out the result of the polygraph.
Yeah, it's game over for Chris here, isn't it? The detectives already would have had the suspicion, and even though the polygraph isn't admissible in court, you could see that it was just a tool to be able to challenge him. Because I think they already suspected him.
Yeah, but he's sticking to his lie, and they're just not having a bar of it. They say, I think they even say, mate, we're not here to play games. We just want to know what happened. But at this stage, he's still not budging on his story.
I brought Brandon here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay?
Okay.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing. I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today. And you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened.
I noticed a clock in the background as well, and you can see it's getting later and later. So there must have been a lot of just awkward silences and them just staring at him, and just they work and work and work on him.
Yeah.
And they give him a bit of an out here as well, which is really smart. And you hear this in a lot of interrogations where they go, maybe you didn't mean to do it. But in this case, they feed him the idea of Shanann being responsible for the kid's death.
These are your baby girls. And you have not shed one tear.
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell me,
my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your two little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Okay. Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known. They didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann? Chicks are crazy.
We go back to seeing a whole bunch more photos and videos of Shanann and the girls from her social media, and even more texts between Shanann and her friends saying something's really changed. Like she literally threw herself at him trying to have sex. And she says in the text message to her friend, I mean, even if he hates me, I mean, sex is sex, right?
Yeah, you're a man. You're just going to want it.
Yeah, but he just rejects her again. And she texts her friend saying, he's asleep and I'm just sitting here crying.
Yeah, she's been bawling for like the last hour.
Yeah.
She's in complete meltdown by this stage over the state of her marriage.
Yeah.
And it's really upsetting for her and her friends thinking, what's wrong with this man?
Yeah, of course. So she asks him again, listen, mate, are you cheating? And again, he just denies it. But then insert Nicole Kessinger. And this is a lady who's being interviewed by the police 2 days after the disappearance.
Today's date is August 15th, 2018. Interviewing Nicole Kessinger.
I think he's a really good guy. And, I'm worried about his wife and kids.
And, we appreciate any insight.
So, I met Chris at work, probably around the beginning of June. And he informed me that he did have 2 daughters. He also told me that he was currently in the process of a separation from his wife. And that's how it started.
Sure. Okay. And then did your relationship develop beyond friendship?
Yes. The one thing I do want to let you guys know is that I found out that she is 15 weeks pregnant. I did not know that. I had to find that out through the media. And it's really concerning me that this woman and her children cannot be located. It's not okay. It scares me. I'm worried for all of them.
So Chris has been cheating on Shanann just like she suspected, and they show heaps of photos of Chris and Nicole together, and it looks like they've taken little trips together, they go hiking together. It looks like he's spent a lot of time.
Yeah, you can tell that, and you can see that they've been having sex a lot too. Just by a couple of the photos are just really risque.
I think she's in lingerie or in a bikini. He's topless, and yeah.
It's quite evident at this point that whole time that Shanann was away with the girls that he was with this Nicole.
Yeah. Piece of shit. So he finally has to admit with the police that he's been cheating on Shanann with a Nicole.
I cheated on her. I know. That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time. She's a wonderful person. I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through issues, yes. And I told her that we were going to get, at the end, we're going to get separated. Once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be. I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen. I'm not proud of it. Shanann accused me of it. I denied it. I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her.
They just keep pressing on him on what happened to his wife and daughters. And after hours and hours, he finally says, listen, can I talk to my dad? And his dad, Ronnie, has been waiting in the police station this entire time, which has been hours for this interview as well. They bring the dad, Ronnie, into the room, and it's just the dad and Chris. But obviously the cameras are constantly rolling in these interrogation rooms. And Chris says fairly quietly to his dad that after he told Shanann that he wants a separation, Shanann lost it, and she ended up smothering the 2 girls to death. And he went into a full-blown rage, and he had to kill Shanann in the same manner as retaliation for her killing the girls.
I want to protect her. Well, I want to protect her. You don't want to protect her. I don't know what else to say. Huh? She hurt him. Yeah. And then I killed her. Well, no, I'm not her. You're a girl. So she started hurting again. She smothered her children. Did she kill her? They're blue. Both of them. She choked both of them to death. I freaked out in the champagne.
That's fucking crazy. And that was that idea that the detectives fed him earlier. So obviously in that brief period of time, it's like, you know what, that's pretty smart. I might be able to downplay my involvement. He obviously doesn't want to admit any involvement in murdering his daughters, but Shanann, well, yeah, I did it out of rage. And the detective would have loved for him to use that, because based on the evidence that they've got and everything, that they'd be able to debunk that and then just work on him from that period.
Yeah. So the two detectives, they come back into the room and Chris tells them he buried all 3 bodies at his work site. We see an aerial drone photo of the work site. Chris points out on the image where he buried Shanann in a shallow grave. And then the two detectives ask Chris, okay, now where are the girls buried? He points at each of the oil tanks. These oil drums, they're massive. They're 20 foot tall, and there's a big set of stairs leading to a platform on top of them. And on top of each of the oil tanks is a little hatch. And the hatch measures 8 inches in diameter.
You say 8 inches, but they'd actually measured from outside to in. So it's actually more like 7.5 inches, I've noticed. I paused it to have a bit of a look. So it's even skinnier than I thought. And for those listeners who know what inches to whatever, it's about 19 centimeters, about 190 millimeters round.
Yeah.
Just to picture it.
That's right, yeah. I Googled a perspective as well, and a dining plate is around about 10 inches. So you're thinking significantly smaller than your dinner plate at home.
19 centimeters is so small. You've mentioned it's smaller than a dinner plate, and it's horrible to think about, but he would have had to have just about stuffed his little girls into these tanks. Bella being like the smaller one, she's 3 years old. She might not have been as hard to get in, but Cece, on the other hand, being a little bit older, I think he would have had a bit of more of a hard time getting her in, and it's horrible to think about.
Yeah, it's the worst part about the documentary is finding out these details. So he's still sticking to his story about Shanann killing the girls, and one of the detectives says to him, "Are you sure you're okay with the public thinking Shanann did this to the 2 girls?"
You're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
What it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before their mom came home, and then killed Shanann. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says, I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster...
I'm not a monster. I didn't. My babies.
He obviously doesn't give a shit. It's all about Chris, isn't it?
That's right.
He's trying to protect his image, and it doesn't matter to him or if he throws her under the bus. Anything to make his life easier at this stage.
That's right, yeah. And we see a letter actually from Shanann to Chris. I think it was only a few days before she went away for her little work trip. And it's just about how much she loves him. And she says in the letter she just misses holding him. She misses his laugh, his smell, and she just misses his touch.
So the letter reads like this. My dearest Chris, I don't know where to begin. I'm so lost for words. I can't even explain how hard this hurts. The last 5 weeks have been so hard. I missed everything about you. I missed your morning breath, your touch, your lips against mine. I miss holding you. I miss smelling you in the sheets. I miss talking to you in person. I miss watching you laugh and play with the kids. I love seeing their smile with you. I miss seeing you naked and on top of me making love. I missed having you around when I felt alone and upset. I just flat out missed the hell out of you. The only major thing that happened was between you, Mum, and I. I can't change what happened, and I will work with you and them to work things out. There has to be a mutual respect from all parties. An apology from your mum personally would be nice. Our daughter's life can't be replaced. You said you would call them and handle it from there, and the stain grew stronger and stronger. The only time I have seen you this closed off was after our wedding. When we found out we were pregnant, I wanted to help you fix the hurt and pain. I knew it hurt you. We worked together to help you through it. I don't want to lose you ever. I will suck it up and be civil with your family because I love you, but there has to be the same respect on the other end. That is what's right. I can't lose you. I won't lose you without a fight. I will fight for your love, fight for us. I can't imagine life without you. It scares me to death every day. You go to work or we're apart, flying away. I will do anything, always for you, us. This is the hardest thing I have ever gone through, but you are worth it. Just talk to me. Tell me what you need. I love you, baby, with all my heart. Happy anniversary. Love always, Shanann. That's pretty brutal to read, to be fair. I mean, that's so personal. I don't exactly agree with that being out in the public.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking knowing what he did to her and her little girls.
She obviously poured her heart out in this letter and loved him so much more than he loved her.
Definitely.
That was hard to read.
Because you're dyslexic, or
yeah, because I'm not very good at reading. Not the context. It was the contents were fine.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
All right, so we go to the audio of a press conference, and they're talking a little bit about the body recovery process. Also, the family talk about the candlelight vigil that they're holding for the girls.
At this point, we have been able to recover a body that we're quite certain is Shanann Watts' body. We have strong reason to believe that we know where the bodies of the children are, and recovery efforts are in process on that. This is absolutely the worst possible outcome that any of us could imagine.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the candlelight visual and saying all your prayers. They are greatly appreciated. And keep the prayers coming for our family.
I assume that they drain the tanks because you can see photos of them extracting. You don't see them extracting the bodies, but like the process of it, and they cut holes, or there must be a hatch at the bottom. Obviously, trying to get the girls out of that small hole at the top would have been impossible, so they had to get them from the bottom. But yeah, pretty horrific seeing those photos, knowing what was going on, and you see the shallow grave where Shanann was and the bed sheet nearby.
Definitely, yeah. And this is where it comes into play with that video that we saw at the neighbour's house as well, that we were talking about earlier with the fetus, because obviously we find out Shanann was pregnant, and then the skeleton getting sucked into the oil as well. So it's a really ominous message sort of immediately after the death as well.
Oh, the oil and everything, like the fetus, the oil, just tied in. Like for him to have done what he did only a few hours prior, and then to be standing in his neighbour's house with the cops and seeing that image on his TV.
It's like Shanann set it up for him.
Oh my, it's really creepy when you think about it.
Yeah. So we see a little bit more about Nicole's mistress, I guess, and she says that he never muttered a bad word about Shanann or the girls as well. But she tells us that 2 days before the murder, Chris and her went out for dinner at a restaurant, and he accidentally paid for the dinner on a joint bank account that he has with Shanann.
But that wouldn't be a big deal, like for anyone usually, because it's like, okay, he didn't lie to her as far as like he was going out, because she's on this trip with her work colleagues. I think he mentioned he was going to go to a ball game or something like that. We went out for dinner, but it was like $60, and she couldn't figure out how he spent $60 at this place.
Yeah. Well, she's already suspicious of him, and then she sees this. I think it's $65 or closer to $70. So she quizzes him, and she said, "Okay, well, where'd you go? What did you have?" And he said, "Oh, well, I just got a drink. I was by myself. I got a drink, and I got the salmon for dinner." And she jumps on Google and pulls up the menu, and she adds it all up, and she's like, "Well, that's close to $30. So what's the other $40 on?"
Yeah, he obviously couldn't come up with anything quick enough. Had a few shots.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
She's watching the security cameras from her phone, and they've obviously got like Ring cameras, and she notices that he comes home at 10:30 at night as well. So she's thinking, okay, he's definitely cheating on me here. So I wonder if she came home that night at 2:00 in the morning and then quizzed him about it or confronted him about it with all the evidence, and then that's what sparked it all, and then it caused the eventual murders.
Yeah, I think she had her suspicions, and there's no doubt that she would have confronted him at this stage. But that's the thing, though. Like, if that was the case, if she came home and confronted him, he actually mentions it later that they had sex that night. So she couldn't have been too upset with him, or he thought maybe this is a way I can just get her to leave me alone. I'm finally going to have sex with her, and maybe that would just calm things down.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
So now we're heading into the trial, and Chris is still trying to put the murders of the girls on Shanann.
Colorado man charged in the murders of his pregnant wife and 2 daughters will be back in court today. But in an unsealed affidavit, he says he is not the one who killed his children.
Chris Watts learned that he could get life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. Lots of you have asked about when the death penalty decision will be made. That is not something that's going to happen even in the next few weeks.
3 months later, we find out that Chris actually pleads guilty on all 9 counts, which included the first-degree murders of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. And it also included the unlawful termination of their unborn son, Nico. Did you find it odd that they were going to name the son Nico when his mistress's name is Nicole?
I hadn't put 2 to 2 together there, no. Yeah, that's... And that Nicole, it's a real interesting way of spelt as well. It's Nichol.
Yeah,
that is a bit odd.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who were not present in the courtroom today, I want to take a minute to summarize the nature of the proceedings on People versus Christopher Watts this afternoon. Mr. Watts entered a plea of guilty to all 9 counts. Those counts include murder in the first degree after deliberation as to Shanann Watts, murder in the first degree as to Bella Watts, murder in the first degree as to Celeste Watts, unlawful termination of a pregnancy as it relates to Nico Watts, and 3 counts of unlawful tampering with a deceased human body. As a result of his plea of guilty, he will not face the death penalty. Sandy said it very, very poignantly to me. He made the choice to take those lives. I do not want to be in a position of making the choice to take his.
I was going to say, he's proved himself to be a piece of shit here, but even more so, he accepts this plea just to avoid a death penalty. He's just a massive coward. Just cop it on the chin what you've done. The only thing here is, at least they avoided a trial. Was the only thing I sort of could appreciate about this. They didn't have to drag the family through the evidence.
But he's not doing it for the family's benefit.
Oh,
he's
absolutely,
doing it for himself.
I'm just saying that's just the silver lining of it.
Yeah. So Chris, he's sentenced to 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. And now he has to finally come clean. And we hear from Chris about what happened that night.
She got home at 2 o'clock. I just had a feeling that she knew what was going on. What I did Saturday night was the last straw. Going out with somebody and using an actual bank account card and just not trying to hide it at all. I felt her get into bed. She started rubbing her hand on me, and we ended up having sex when I woke up. Later on in the morning, I pretty much, told her, I didn't think it was going to work anymore. And she was like, what was last night, And she's like, I knew there was somebody else, I couldn't just say, yes, there is somebody else, but then she said, you're never going to see the kids again. You're never going to see them again. Get off me. If I never met Nikki, would I ever have thought our relationship was bad? Probably not.
So when did it turn?
I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's when it happened. What happened? She told me to get off her, and that's something. I don't even want to say it felt like I had to. I just felt like there was already something in my mind that was implanted that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning and it was going to happen, and I had no control of it. Why couldn't I just let go?
What was she doing?
Right, what she said. Wrong. And she had her little pink blanket with her.
And where was Shanann at that point?
Yeah, just pretty much on the bed, but she was face down. Put Shanann in that sheet, carried her downstairs, back my truck up.
So you put Shanann in the truck, and then you put the 2 girls in the truck?
Sitting in the back with in that bed sheet.
So Shanann was back there too?
On the floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay?
What'd you tell them?
She'll be fine. When I was driving up there, they were just sitting there just kind of asleep or kind of just holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps. Honestly, I try to picture that whole ride, it's 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just couldn't I have saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know. I wanted all my life was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they love me, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
So what happened when you got out there?
See, first blanket over her head. Did she struggle at all? I think so.
It went down to Bella. Tell me what happened there.
She said what happened to Cece. Every time I closed my eyes, I started to see her say, "Daddy, no," and that was it. I hear that every day.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He reads me books, tie my shoes. You're a hero. Blue and blue.
What an absolute fucking evil piece of shit this guy is. No wonder he was one of the most hated men in America for years after this.
Yeah, we don't want to go banging on about what he did to his little girls, but those details are horrific, aren't they? And this is his version of events too, so we can only go by what he's saying. But it seems like he was pretty candid, but like he does go into fair detail about it.
Yeah.
And just with this little girl saying, "Daddy," she knew what was coming and knew what was happening. It was just, I did say we're not going to bang on about it, but it's so hard not to just sit in silence and think about that moment because that is horrific.
Yeah, for sure. So after he disposed of all the 3 bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the girls' school, unrolling them. What an idiot. He also called a real estate agent to put their house on the market as well. And he texts his girlfriend, Nicole, and just to talk about their future.
Yeah, he just couldn't wait to move on. It was almost like he was in a rush. And then this whole thing just seemed to be rushed from the get-go anyway, didn't it?
Yeah. But it's also, these little things make me feel it was premeditated, but he's just a moron, or he rushed ahead and then pushed his ideas forward. Because unrolling the girls from school, putting the house on the market, as you said, he's already trying to set up his new life.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've been debating in my own mind about the premeditation part of it. But then it's almost like he didn't really think about the details, the little things. Like
Definitely
her car being still at the house, like a normal person would have gotten rid of the car beforehand. So it's
I don't think he was banking on Shanann's friend to be so on the ball with her missing and her calling a welfare check. I think he was super shocked that within 3 hours of him burying the bodies, the police were at his front door.
That's true. That's true. He probably thought he had a little bit more time up his sleeve, or when he got home, he could prepare a bit better. But I think they caught him by surprise for sure.
One other thing that he Googled, which I only found out in my deep dive, they don't mention in the doco, that he looked up the lyrics to a Metallica song, Battery.
I had heard that. What was the significance about that?
He claims that it's just because his girlfriend Nicole likes the song. So that's why he was looking at the lyrics. But some of the lyrics in the song are weak, are ripped and torn away, hypnotizing power, crushing all that cower, battery is here to stay, smashing through boundaries, lunacy has found me, cannot stop the battery, pounding out aggression, turns into obsession, cannot kill the battery, cannot kill the family. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
Yeah, makes you hate him even more. So we see the prosecutor up on the stand, and he has a line which I really liked as well. He said, if he wanted to have a new start, why not just get divorced? You didn't have to annihilate your entire family and throw them away like garbage.
Yeah, and you can see he's got his head down, his leg is just like rattling. Like they really focus on that too, and you can see he's dying inside. He does not want to be there, but he doesn't look up at all. He doesn't look at anyone in the eye. He doesn't face what's happening. There's the victim impact statements and everything like that. But cop that. You made your bed. You know, you gotta sit through it now. So, but I had the same sort of notes with mine as well when I was watching it as well, about the prosecutor saying, what was the purpose of you annihilating your whole family? Get a divorce like a normal person.
That's
he's just
right.
a coward.
Yeah. He claims he's such a good dad. Why kill the girls? Like, you can still have a divorce and see your children.
That's the thing. The motive for this is so irrational. Start a new life with this new girl. Usually it's about control or about money, but there was nothing. This was literally about sex for him.
Yep.
You know, I've got this new girl, and he wants to have a life with her. He could still have done that, well, like you said, without murdering his family. So it makes no sense where his mind went.
Yeah.
Over a short period of time as well.
So I was really curious to see how he was going in prison. I say curious, hoping he'd been beaten and murdered in prison.
I hope he gets raped every day.
I'm sure he would. He must be in isolation because he's so hated. But
so I don't think he is in isolation because I read on the internet about one of his cellmates has written a book about him because like he was quite open to him about what he had done and what had happened.
Oh, okay, there you go. So this was from last year that a few letters that he wrote in prison were being released, and he's just blaming women for all the wrongdoing that he's done in life, basically. Actually, he addresses one of his letters to God, and I'll just read it out. It's only quite short. I was misled. I was tempted by a harlot. I was weak, and I allowed myself to be fooled by an evil woman. She led me from the path of righteousness. I know that you will deal with her someday. She will be judged. You know my heart, Lord. I am a man after your heart. I seek your face. I allowed her to stray me. He also unloads in other letters on various unnamed, or the women's names weren't released, calling them harlots, Jezebels, and whores. And he also says about one woman, the lips of an immortal woman may be smooth, but no amount of paint on her face can disguise her evil heart. He also actually blames Shanann for her own death due to her being domineering and self-absorbed.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He also hasn't taken any responsibility still.
That's right, yeah. He's actually trying to chat up quite a few women as well. So there's quite a few women that are becoming pen pals with him. They think he's attractive, so they're writing letters to him as well, just like the Ted Bundy situation.
Yeah.
And he says in one of the letters to this woman, I was a good husband and father. Things happened, and I'm no longer a good husband and father, but I am still a good man.
Things happened.
Things happened?
I forgot to put the bins out one night. Things happened.
Fuck, is that how you describe it? Things happened.
They weren't major things.
Far out.
He's a fucking sociopath, I was telling you earlier. The other thing about these harlots he was talking about, like Nicole in particular, she's gone underground. No one has seen her in public since this has happened. I've tried to find out some information about her, and she would have had a lot of shame and guilt about what happened. She must have felt some sort of responsibility regarding the events of that night, because I'd also heard, it wasn't in the documentary, that she had texted him that night and said, you need to choose, it's either them or me. So I think from that text, that might have actually sparked this last-minute murder. You know, we were talking about it being premeditated or not. That might have been the catalyst to it all. This innocent text from her, you know, saying, look, you need to choose. And the way his brain works, I just need to annihilate him to be with her.
Yeah, wow.
Which is fucked up. And I think there was a sighting of her at a funeral last year, but that's pretty much the only sighting that the web sleuths on the internet are really trying to find her. And I think there's a lot of people out there to blame her, and I feel sorry for her. You know,
I don't think she's to blame at all.
She knew he was married, but I think from her standpoint, it's like, okay, she understood that the marriage was on the rocks and they would be getting separated soon, and she had no idea that Shanann was pregnant.
Yeah.
So, and she mentions that in her interview as well. So I felt really bad about it.
Yeah,
about that. A couple of things, you talked about your deep dive. I did a little bit of investigation myself along after Nicole. I looked into a little bit, and bit of a trigger warning here for people that are sensitive with certain, details of deaths. And I found out the autopsy results are actually available online. It has the injury report of his two little daughters, and Bella, the 3-year-old, was pretty clean. Apart from being smothered, but there were no significant injuries on her body. She was covered in oil, and they found oil in her stomach. That's not to suggest that she was alive when she was put in the barrel. It's just made its way into her body throughout the process of the decomposition. But Cece, on the other hand, being a bit older, the 4-year-old, she had a lot more external injuries, and unfortunately, those external injuries were from him stuffing her into the barrels, just so it being so narrow. So she had some deep lacerations on her body. I thought they also found that she had bitten her cheek and her tongue, and that would have been during the process of being smothered as well. So horrific little details there that I didn't really want to read, but I just thought it's important to understand these details and put it in perspective as well to what happened, because it's so easy to watch a documentary. It's finished, you turn it off, and then you go have dinner with your family and you forget about it. They're not real people. I think reading this sort of stuff, it sort of brings it home. It's like, man, this was so real. This is what happened to these little girls. And I think those details are important for that reason. The other thing I did a bit of a dive with, I mentioned about her Facebook page. So I looked up Shanann Watts on Facebook. All the footage that you see in the documentary, the videos, they're all there for you to see. But so it's still public. They have a little pop-up that comes up and says, they hope people find comfort in visiting her profile to remember and celebrate her life. So that's really nice. But it's really sad when you see, first thing you see is her profile photo. It's just her, and it says feeling excited. Like that was her emotion at the time. And she hadn't posted that weekend while she was away with this conference with work. And you have to actually go back a fair way to see a picture of her and Chris together, which I thought was quite telling.
Right.
There's a shitload of pictures regarding her work, her Thrive business that she's doing. So that was understandable. But there's a lot of her daughters that you see, Bella and Cece, but nothing to do with Chris. Her last activity was the 10th of August. You don't see a picture of Chris until the 1st of July, which doesn't sound like a big time period. Talking only 40 days. But I think I had to scroll through at least 100 posts to get to it. Like you have to scroll. And I thought that was quite telling. Her profile photo is just her and you just see the girls. I don't know if there was some intervention by the families to take away a few posts. I don't know. I don't think
Possibly.
So because all the, like I said, all the photos and videos that you see on the documentary of her together with Chris and everything, they're still available to see. So I don't think that was the case. I just think she was going through that period of being, was it North Carolina?
Yeah.
With the family. They were going through a lot of shit at that stage, and you could see that there was a definite separation probably in the works from that point, and up to the point where she writes that letter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, interesting. Good research, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
As usual.
Yeah. You're going to see that for a serial Facebook poster, things were rocky. You know, Blind Freddy could see it.
So that was our episode on American Murder, The Family Next Door. And I really hope, I don't know what you're doing next week, but I really hope there's no children getting murdered in it.
Yeah, I think we need a bit of a break from that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like I was saying last time, it's really hard to be humorous, and we're naturally jovial throughout these, and that's such heavy content matter. So I appreciate we're not always going to be serious throughout it, because that's almost like our coping mechanism, watching and going through this stuff. But yeah, we are going to be a little bit lighthearted next week, and I'm looking forward to this one because I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. This was a documentary that came out last year, and it is called Unknown Number, The High School Catfish, and we'll play the preview for you now.
Closer? Yeah. The people in my high school I've grown up with since kindergarten, basically. I first met Owen in 7th grade.
They were just like a high school couple in a movie.
We were like best friends.
But the more friends you have, the easier it is to be betrayed by them. Something dangerous could happen.
A high school girl in Michigan was cyberbullied for more than a year.
And who turned out to be the suspect shocked everyone. It was so bad to the point where I didn't want to even go to school anymore.
It was relentless. 1 a.m, 3 a.m.
I would question how I thought about myself.
There's some sick messages.
They were enough to make a 53-year-old man blush.
It's crazy how having a phone can become the worst thing that happened to me.
Things are about to get so much worse.
Sorry, not sorry. Each and every day I'd feel like I lose trust in everyone.
You had to be careful of every single word that you said, or else you could look guilty.
Really just all started to look like me.
She could be sending them to herself.
Everything was great, and then, things started happening.
The parents wanted to confront people and start pointing fingers.
When they involve the FBI, you can just see how fast this escalates. They made quite a scene at school.
I wanted to try to protect her and keep her safe.
I found one phone number that kept coming up.
We gotta nail this son of a...
I really didn't know what to say.
This is disgusting.
No way.
Crazy that someone that close could do something like that.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that one. I reckon there'll be quite a few good laughs. It looks pretty fun.
Yeah, and a lot of people would have seen it, and there was a lot of social media talk about it. And I'm going to pick a lot of fun at people in it, no doubt. One woman in particular. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. And there's no murder in it, which is great.
Excellent.
So anyway, that comes to the end of this episode. Great job today, mate. I thought you did really well. Very respectful. I wasn't so respectful at times, but we got there. Don't stop listening to to us. I'm sorry for what I said. But if you are enjoying us still, please do all the things that we talk about. Rate, review us, because that's really important. We talk about it every week, but if you haven't done it, please do it for us. If you're our friend, you'll do it for us. So get on there. Get on there, follow us and listen to us. We are enjoying it immensely, and we're going to keep doing this every Tuesday. So, like I said last week, we've got a new segment called Freaky Friday. So it's Thursday today. So Chris and I are going to be recording our first episode tomorrow and releasing it tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And it's going to be a short and a different format, which is going to be nice. But I hope you guys enjoy that. Look, I think we're done for today. Anything you want to add?
No, I think I might go hug my wife and kids for the next hour or two.
Good call. My wife's away in New Zealand at the moment, actually, and she made a reference to our first episode, The Lie, the murder of Grace Mullane, and she said, thank God there's a gazillion cameras in Auckland. She feels really safe being there. So that was a nice little poster. That was good. But anyway, nice. Mate, a good episode. And until next time, mate, try not to murder anyone.
You too, mate. All right. Love ya.
See ya.
You're a fucking arsehole sometimes.
That was good.